I'm Cebu from Go Global with Cebu, and I'm here to talk about Couchsurfing today. So, what is Couchsurfing? What happened to it? So, Couchsurfing is a hospitality exchange service that was incredibly popular before the pandemic, and it's been around for almost 20 years. It was created in 2024, and it's, according to the statistics, it has 12 million users around the world, but there might be even more than that. So what does that mean? In the beginning, as a platform for people to just surf or crash on someone's couch whenever they were traveling, but it was all about exchanging services and hospitality with strangers. So I could be crashing on your couch even though I've never met you before, but that doesn't mean you're gonna crash on mine. That means that you, while traveling, are gonna crash on someone else's couch, and so on and so forth. And therefore, we're creating some sort of exchange service where we're all helping each other out and we're part of a larger community. But in 2020, what happened was that they started charging for the service, and the numbers declined, pandemic stroke of course, and people just stopped using it as much as they did, myself included. I started using Couchsurfing in 2009, and once they started asking for a subscription in 2020, I just stopped using it altogether. However, I just renewed my membership about 2 years ago, and I want to talk to you about why you should still use Couchsurfing. So does that mean that you need to stay in someone else's house and you need to host people even though that makes you uncomfortable, or you're a student, you don't have any room, or you have a family? You don't. The beauty of Couchsurfing is that basically you can just meet up with people if you want them, if you want to. Do you want to meet travelers, or do you want to meet other locals, or do you have a hard time meeting people that are like-minded? That's what Couchsurfing is all about. I'm currently here in a hotel room in Iraq, and as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm actually going to meet up with a couchsurfer. So that means that I'm paying for my own accommodation, but that means that during the day I actually get to hang out with locals. One of the biggest problems with Couchsurfing right around 2020, and I know because I felt this too, was that many people stopped using it as a service in which we could all exchange experiences, and many people just jump on the platform expecting free accommodation, basically just using your home as a hotel, which is really annoying. Let's talk about some misconceptions. Yes, Couchsurfing is still a thing. Yes, you do have to pay. However, now that you have to pay, I feel like it's filtered out a lot of users. Like, if you're really intentional about using Couchsurfing, you're gonna pay. The best part is that it's only if you come from a country that has a strong currency. It's $15 per year, and if you have a weak currency, it can be as low as $2 for the whole year. That basically means that it's just like a tiny subscription service that you're paying to keep the platform alive. So why use Couchsurfing when there's so many other platforms out there? Honestly, as someone who's been traveling the world for almost 20 years, I feel like Couchsurfing is probably the best platform out there to meet other travelers and to meet other locals. Yes, we know that there are plenty of Facebook groups available, and they're all completely free. However, there's still a Facebook group. I don't feel like their search engine is good. Because of the algorithm, things might be pushed down. There might be a specific post that you want to see, and you might not be able to see it, or you might miss out on meeting with someone simply because the algorithm is not running in your favor. And obviously, there's only one post that can be on the top. While on Couchsurfing, I honestly feel like this is by far the best way in the world to meet locals. Facebook groups, a lot of the time, they tend to cater to more Western travelers. With Couchsurfing, you're basically going to be meeting up with locals no matter what. So on Couchsurfing, you can actually filter by destination, you can filter by dates. There's another feature that's called public trips. So the way that it works on Couchsurfing, for example, I don't need to go out of my way to start writing to people to see if they're available to meet up. All I have to do is post a public trip on the destination. So I'm here in Nasiriyah in Iraq, and I posted that I was going to be here for 3 days. And I posted the potential dates, what I wanted to do, whether or not I was looking to be hosted or I just wanted to meet up with people. And I posted it, and I've been hanging out with a local guide for the last 3 days, and it's been absolutely incredible. I've been able to go to places that obviously tourists don't normally go to, and I've been eating at restaurants that locals eat at, and I've basically been the only foreigner wherever I go, which I think is a truly culturally immersive experience, and I've been having a great time here in Iraq. So is Couchsurfing safe? Let's put it this way. There's a risk to everything. I could be getting in a car, something could happen. As a woman, it's not that Couchsurfing is not safe, it's just that there's the added risk of being a woman. So I could be using Airbnbs, I could be using hotels, I could be using hostels. I don't see how the risk is any hire with Couchsurfing. And then on top of that, we have references. And so references are incredibly important, and it's something that I always look at. So if I'm meeting up with someone, I make sure that they have references. If they don't have references, I don't care how nice they seem to be, I'm just not gonna hang out with them, unfortunately. And if I wanna be hosted by them, if I wanna stay at their place, then yes, I make 100% sure that they have references, and then on top of that, they better have references from women. This is something that I personally do to feel safe. So what are some travel safety tips to use Couchsurfing besides the references that I just mentioned? Look at profiles. Profiles should be completely filled out. They should have a good amount of pictures. It's just like a dating profile. You're not going to meet up with some guy that has one line and one picture, right? Like, you want to make sure that that person actually has a properly filled out profile. Another thing that I do is that I only meet up in public spaces if I'm meeting up with someone, and I take care of my drink. So basically the same advice that you give anyone if they were going out on a date with someone for the first time. Something that is super important is also trusting your gut. If anybody at any point makes me feel uncomfortable, then I will make up an excuse and say, hey, I'm not free, I'm not available. If I'm actually with them, I'll just say that something came up, I'll stand up and I'll walk away. I don't think that having a lifetime of trauma is worth it at all. Follow your gut, be strong. If you have to leave, just leave. That's what I tell myself all the time. However, I'm really good at picking up vibes, and if I feel like anybody's, I don't know, like a little bit flirty or they're saying inappropriate things, again, I just shut them down and I leave, send a message to them saying I'm no longer available if it happens to be an online interaction, and if they're really going out of their way, I'll simply just block them. However, let me make this clear, I have yet to have an uncomfortable situation on Couchsurfing where I've actually met up with someone and they've made me feel uncomfortable. If they have, it's usually an online interaction and I immediately shut it down or block them if necessary. So how do you get started on Couchsurfing? First of all, you pay the fee. You're not going to be able to use any of the features unless you have a profile. I personally just paid the subscription fee for 1 year. There's another thing that's called verification where you can pay, I think it's around $50 or $60. It's a one-time fee, and then you'll actually have all of your documents verified. I'm personally not verified. You do not have to be. If you're meeting up with someone and they're verified, that means that they're 100% good to go because they know the company, Couchsurfing, knows exactly who they are. In my case, I'm not verified, but I do have enough references on the platform to state that I'm actually a real person and that I have good intentions with anybody that I meet on the road. Like I said before, just like with any other profile, fill out your information, put up pictures. What do you like? What are you interested in? Don't forget that this is not a dating website. If something were to happen with someone that you meet, that's great, but do not under any circumstances use the platform to try to hook up with people. As a woman, I can tell you that that's extremely annoying, and I can see right through you if you happen to do that. Like, we're not stupid. So if you're genuinely interested in meeting up with someone, then meet up with them. You know, don't be all sleazy, creepy once you meet up with them, though. Like, just interact with them in a way that you normally would, just like with anybody else. If you happen to meet up with somebody and there happens to be sparks or chemistry later on, then that's a whole different story, but do not try to force anything that's not there. If you're opening up a profile, how do you deal with references? So ask around, are any of your friends on Couchsurfing? Like, friends that you actually know? If they are, then make sure, ask them to see if they can leave you a referral. There are 3 types of referrals. There's the personal referral, which is something that can be left among friends. Then there's the one for surfers, which means people that are actually staying in someone else's home. And then hosts, people who are hosting others. So personally, the best way to start is with personal references. So ask your friends, see if anybody can leave your references. Don't forget that they'll have a profile. So if I see that you only have 1 references, I will go to that person's profile to see how long their account has been active for, to see if they're actually legit or not. This is something that I will go out of my way to do, and I'm not surprised if other people do too. If none of your friends are on Couchsurfing, ask around. Set up there, depending on how big the city you are in is, there might be Couchsurfing events. I know that there are plenty in India, for example, in the UK, in the US. Attend a Couchsurfing event, make friends with someone, and ask them to leave you references. And that way you'll actually start building up your profile. The way that I started was attending events. So this was back in 2009. I've been a member of the platform for a while, and there were events in China, and I'd attend those events, and I think the first 2 references I got were from events. And eventually I encouraged some of my friends to join Couchsurfing. They joined, and then we all left each other references, and that was a really good way to start. Just like on Airbnb or Booking, references are everything. Don't expect people to meet up with you unless you've actually made an effort to be active on the profile. Do not expect anybody to meet up with you if you have no activity on your profile, especially a reference. What stops many people from using Couchsurfing is the assumption that you have to host or be hosted in order to use the platform. Personally, I've been traveling full time for the past 4 years. I don't have anywhere, I don't have, even if I wanted to host, I cannot host. I simply cannot. But I can be hosted and I can meet up with people. I'm an active member of the community. I get hosted. I also interact with other people. There is no pressure for me to ever. I currently travel full time and I don't have a place anywhere to host people, but even if I did, there is no pressure whatsoever for me to have to host anybody. You can still be an active member of the community just by meeting up with people. And if I haven't convinced you yet, Couchsurfing is an amazing way to interact with people if you're traveling on a budget, but there's probably no better way to save money. This is one of the best ways out there to save on accommodation while traveling. You can just look and request to be hosted wherever you go in the world, and believe me, chances are you will find someone. If that's not your thing, you can always meet up with locals like I've been doing. Personally, I started using Couchsurfing again, but before that I was using it in Asia, Europe, and nowadays over the last 2 years, I've been using it in Africa, and I'm now in the Middle East. I travel a lot to more remote off the beaten path destinations, and I think it's a fascinating way for me not only to meet locals, but for locals to meet foreigners. It's not often that you'll get a chance to interact with foreigners and show them your culture and show them around, and I think that's a beautiful experience. And then on top of that, for me, I'm from Costa Rica, and so I always find it fascinating when I go out of my way to explain things about Costa Rica, because it's a tiny country and most people don't know anything about it. But once they start using Couchsurfing, they'll be able to, potentially meet someone from Costa Rica and be like, oh, right, I once met someone from Costa Rica. This is what the country was like. So I think it's all an educational experience. After all, travel is the world's best classroom, and I think you should take full advantage of it. If you're home right now and for whatever reason you cannot travel, you can also travel through other people. Meet with locals, meet with other travelers, use Couchsurfing to engage with other people. It's an amazing community. I'm so glad I'm part of it. I'm sorry I left it for a few years, but I'm here, I'm back, and I'm super excited to be using it again. If you have any questions, please let me know, and please subscribe and follow along as I share more tips on how to make this all possible, because I've been doing this since 2005. Or you can just follow along for more travel stories from more off the beaten path destinations from a solo female traveler. I'll see you soon. Bye.